Hello students, welcome to class. I'm Miss KADIE, that vegan teacher, in case you don't know me, and I'm here today in Italy. Now normally, since I'm Canadian, I'm in Canada. But today I want to tell you a story about something that happened when I was just outside trying to make some TikTok videos and some YouTube videos. So I was there holding the camera and just kind of getting ready to start talking when a man came up to me and started talking to me and asking me if I wanted to buy some of the items that he was holding. And he was telling me that he had these things to sell and would I please buy something. And there was something in his eye, something about him that made me sort of pause and just kind of pay attention, because he seemed, I don't know how to explain it, just like he seemed sincere and he seemed needy, but yet he was dressed normally, and I could see sort of a kind of desperation in his eyes. I don't know if that's what was really there. In the end, we don't really know, but let me tell you what happened. So he tried to sell me his things. I said I didn't really need them, and I could tell that he wasn't from Italy and he had an accent, and I said, how long have you lived here for? And he said he came from Nigeria 10 years ago. And when he was here, he met someone who he married, and then they had a child. He has a child who's 8 years old, an 8-year-old boy. And his job is basically, the father's job, the man's job, is to sell things to just anyone going by. And it kind of made me feel sort of sad, and I asked, like, because I just thought it just seemed like he didn't want to do that, you know? He seemed like he didn't have a lot of money and not a lot of choice. So I just wanted to get to know him on a personal level. So he told me about his son, and he said that he doesn't want his son to know the kind of work that he does. And that's why he is about an hour away from where he lives. He says he is selling things on the streets, going up to different people, going into cafes and things like that, but he doesn't want his son or his son's friends or anybody to see him doing this job, because he thinks that his son will think less of him. So when he said that, my heart just kind of went, and I just thought, oh my God, how can I talk to somebody like this about veganism? It's just like so far from what's important to him, right? In fact, I don't even think he really knew what the word meant. Now, surprisingly, his English was very good. And so I was able to engage with him a little bit. I said, just in case you want to know a little bit about me, I'm an animal rights activist, and I'm trying to encourage people to eat less animals. And he said, oh, I don't like to hurt animals. I could never kill an animal. And he said, of course, like everybody else, but he does eat them. Then he said that one of the biggest reasons that he left Nigeria was because he developed diabetes down there, and that he thought he was going to die because the medical care was so bad. So he had to get to a country where he could get free insulin, or I'm not sure if he has to pay a stipend for it or not, but anyway. So he's here in Italy, and he gets insulin every single day to help to level out his blood sugars. So I told him that I know several doctors who talk about people who have diabetes and are able to help them through a vegan diet. And I started talking to him a little bit about different foods. I said, like, he says, like, well, what should I eat? And I said, well, you should eat lentils. And he said, what's that? So he didn't know what lentils were. We tried to say it in Italian, because my husband was with me, and he didn't know. We showed him a picture of lentils, and he actually didn't really seem to know what lentils were. And I said chickpeas. He said, oh, chicken. I said, no animal products. Chickpeas, little chickpeas. Anyway, make a long story short, we ended up exchanging phone numbers, because I said to him, if you need help, or if you want to be friends, here's my number, because that's just the kind of person I am. Maybe a little bit too trusting to a fault, but we now have one another's numbers. And I said, I'd like to come and visit you, if that's okay. And he said, sure, come to my house, because he said, I want to actually get to Canada. And I said, well, I could maybe, somehow help you, but you'd have to be vegan, because I don't want you to come to our country and start paying people to murder animals in Canada. And he said, I can do that. I can be vegan, but I don't really think he knows what it's all about. Anyway, we did exchange numbers. I did send him some information, and we will see what happens going forward. But you know, it just made me think about how so many people are suffering, and I really just hated to see this dignified man essentially having to sell these things. So we didn't buy anything, but we gave him some money anyway, because we didn't need any things, because I'm on a mission in my life to accumulate less items. And anyway, I'd like to know from you guys, do you know anybody who is from Nigeria? Do you know anybody who is suffering from diabetes? Because type 2 diabetes can really be helped through a vegan diet. Everyone thinks that you can't eat fruits, but in fact, apparently that's not really true. You can eat fruit, and you can have balanced blood sugar. And if you see the movie What the Health, you can learn from that. And also study from a doctor named Dr. Barnard. And there are a bunch of doctors who work for the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. So that's what I got for you today. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you think. And we'll see each other, guests, tomorrow. Stay tuned for my adventures here in Italy. Bye for now.
Every